Okay, give me a second. Boom. There we go. What's going on? How's everyone's day going? Saturday, I've been gone all morning. It is almost 1 p.m. I left the house earlier at around 6:30 a.m. to go spar. Man, I told you earlier, if you watched my last live stream, I got a crazy ass client named Old Man Carl, who's 61 years old, grew up boxing. He used to build cabins in the wilderness in Australia, so his hands are literally made of bricks. He hits harder than anyone I've ever sparred, but it's good. It's good problem solving for me. I always tell him, I go, what are we doing today? Are we fighting or are we boxing? Because it's a different mindset. Last thing you want to do on a Saturday morning is go into a fight when you think you're boxing. It's a different thing strategically. But I just got done watching the UFC weigh-ins for 293 down here in Sydney. I was going to go, but I usually go to all the events, go to all the big boxing events. But lately at this stage of my life, big fights like this, whether it's Tim Tszyu fighting or the UFC, which is in Sydney, I like watching it from the friendly confines of my living room, basically to avoid the drunken super fans, the drunken types everywhere who know everything about the sport yelling. If I care about a fighter, care about a match, I want to watch it in my house in like a controlled environment. That's my own issue. But the weigh-ins happened, and there's a couple fights I'm looking for. I'm looking forward to see the main event with Strickland and Adesanya, and a couple fights on the undercard as well. But to stick to topic, stick to the title. Are you guys aware of Bud tweeting? He's been, or X, using Twitter, X formerly, or Twitter formerly, no, whatever, tweeting. He recently went on a rant to his critics, and it had me thinking, I wonder if it's Bud actually using his Twitter, like in control of it, or of his social medias, or if he's outsourced that. Because for the first time I can admit, I'm not agreeing with some of his actions on social media. And I don't have to agree, I'm nobody. But usually everything he's done up until this point with his branding has been on point. That's what I mean. From a branding perspective, my entrepreneurial mindset is when I see fighters, how they handle themselves, how they speak to the media, podcasts they go on. That's a branding thing. And Bud has been high level at all of this. But today, there's a couple questions I'd have for him. I'd want to ask him. And as we're leading up into the Charlo-Canelo fight, he keeps talking about that the biggest fight in boxing is him versus Canelo, or him versus the winner of Canelo and Charlo. And Bud doesn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Crawford's at a stage where he doesn't have to tweet. He doesn't have to petition. He doesn't have to go out of his way. He had to do that to get the EJ fight for years. And I wonder if this is just kind of residual effects of years and years of campaigning, or if it's not even Bud on his Twitter. I'm going to read you the tweets. We got 3 of them up right now. And he sent these out within minutes. And I think he was responding, or whoever's controlling his social media was responding to Canelo. Canelo tweeted about an hour earlier about the biggest fight in boxing right now is the 30th, me versus Charlo. And he also said, every fight I go into, it's the biggest fight of my career. Something in that kind of triggered Crawford. And he goes, now this is to the critics. He goes, now I'm juicing. I done heard it all. I can't just be great. They can text me any and all year. I think he meant they could test me any and all year long and will never come close to seeing anything illegal in my body. He's obviously referencing the snack, his affiliation with Victor Conti. You guys know Netflix did the Untold about the Belko scandal. I covered it about a week and a half ago. If you go to my playlist sections, there's a playlist that says snack, and then you could get caught up on all that. The second tweet, he goes, I love it. Y'all my motivation. Keep motivating each of y'all as part of the success story, with an eye wake. So obviously there's sarcasm there. He's talking about he's the type of guy who gets fueled by his haters. And the last one, y'all be so mad at me and don't even know why, but I do though. Wink, wink. And it's kind of like, I was kind of shocked to read these because he's obviously reading a lot of the hate. I mean, boxing's so petty. You guys know what I'm saying? Like, boxing fans are so petty, and it's one of my reasons for, you know, the Facebook channel that I run, Boxing News Today, why you won't see any trolls there, why you won't see any shit posting. I delete everything if it's any sort of one-sided. There's arguments, but I keep it very healthy, very pro-boxing arguments, not this guy sucks, I hate him, but none of that's there. And I think if we could get more of that in boxing, we could remove a lot more of the trolls. Because in a healthy conversation of anything, it doesn't have to be boxing, it's the people who don't know what they're talking about are figured out really quickly. And I think that is a gauge. It's something that people in boxing, new media such as this with YouTube channels, rather than piling on fighters or kind of assisting in the shit post, they could do their part to help clean the sport up a little bit, at least from the fan perspective. So Crawford obviously has been reading about the hate about, Victor Conti, the snack affiliation, and he claims he's using his motivation. I'm interested from the text, and Crawford doesn't have a master's degree in English. We don't expect him to author books. That's fine. He's a prize fighter. So it sounds to me he's writing these tweets, and I'd like to know his motivation behind that. I'd like to, if he was here, I would ask him. Moving forward, is EJ still on holiday? I mean, more photos. His girlfriend or wife, I should know this. I don't know if they're married or engaged. I know they have an adorable kid together. She keeps posting on his behalf on her Instagram account photos of them on an awesome holiday, and it seems like this has been a second one. I know they went to Greece. This doesn't look like Greece. And my question is, upon the announcement of the rematch and the clause being signed, are they on holiday, or is EJ, or are they, kind of just posting and he's behind the scenes grinding? I'd like to think he was at the gym. I don't know about all that. He does look like he's filled out really good. I like seeing a thick EJ. I want to see EJ fight in the heavier weight classes because, not 47. I want to see him at 54. I want to see him at 60. Shit, I want to see him at 68. I'd like to see some of the sparring footage. I heard there's awesome sparring footage out there of him sparring against light heavyweights. Because with his style, it suits durability. But when you take all of that muscle off of him, when you lose that, you lose durability. I want to see him filled out. I don't want to see EJ with a six pack. I want to see him a little bit swole and see if that fight will be different. And then we're gonna end this. Been ranting a little long today. I got to go. We're doing oysters, prawns, some sushi at my girlfriend's house, and I think I'm gonna do some limoncello and some what you know about them Aperol spritzes. So we're gonna talk about one thing. We've been adding this segment on the podcast lately, Unpopular Boxing Opinions, and I wanted to talk about generation versus generation and my perspective on that, on why it's unfair to compare generations from the past. It's unfair to say, hey, the Sugar Ray Robinson would beat any welterweight ever. He's the greatest of all time, which most of us can attest to. I use that because if we use generation to generation comparison with fighters, we have to then think about technology. I'm streaming on an iPhone. I think this is the 14, right? This is my iPhone. If I tried doing this on an iPhone, even the iPhone 5, it would not look like this. I don't even know if I'd have the capabilities to live stream without any glitches, right? My point is, the 14 is obviously way better than the 5. It's just evolution of technology. It's everything think about cars, think about computers, think about science. With time, we get better. Why wouldn't we use that same logic with sports, with any athletes, with any industries? So I always think of that first when I get into a debate about generations. The old timers love to say they were the best. The newer generation, what have you done for me lately? It's kind of like we're the best. I'd like to think, and here's my unpopular opinion, I'd always have to side on the modern era simply for the fact of evolution and the iPhone theory, what I just used. Technology gets better and better and better as the years go. And guys, like it or not, we're a form of technology. Hopefully everybody enjoys the weekend. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification too. I'm just learning about the algorithm. I didn't realize the more people who like your videos, it boosts it up in like recommended videos. I always wonder, I was like, why are these YouTubers saying like my videos? That's corny. But no, it's so you can get suggested to new people. So if you haven't liked the video, if you're watching, I appreciate that. And then any sort of feedback, comment in the section below.